So, like many people, they have an issues. They struggle with setting boundaries. So today, I wanted to just talk to us a little bit about how to set boundaries without feeling guilty. A lot of guys have a problem with setting boundaries, or more so with they find it hard to say no, especially when you don't want to disappoint someone. Like the way we've been brought up, especially if you're an African. Um, there are people you just don't say no to, your relatives, older people. There's all of that. So, but guess what? Setting healthy boundaries is one of the best things you can do for yourself. A lot of the times when you push yourself a little bit beyond or a lot beyond what you truly believe in, it's not because of you. You're doing it either because you don't disappoint someone or you're afraid of someone. It's rarely about yourself. But setting boundaries, healthy ones, is one of the best things you can actually do for yourself. Let's see how you can do that without feeling guilty, yeah? Setting boundaries is a game changer, seriously. But I get it because it can feel really uncomfortable uh, at first, or you just feel guilty, you feel selfish. Strangely enough, I kind of got over that one pretty early on in life, and a lot of people find me very cold and unfriendly because of it, because I can say no so easily. But I just learned that I can't just please everyone. It was too great a cost to myself to try to do that. Boundaries are not really about being mean or distant. They are about protecting your peace and ensuring you're able to show up for yourself and others in a healthy way. A lot of the times when you overstretch and say yes, like maybe to help so many people, you end up burnt out. When you're burning out there and not being able to do your own things, how are you being useful to yourself on a serious note, or even to that person in the future? Or maybe to your immediate family because you are too busy out there helping. Actually, family is probably the worst. They are kind of the hardest because family has a bit of entitlement. They're like, yo, come on, you're my sister, you're my uncle, you're my relative. What do you mean no? You know. But some of the ways is number one is to be honest and direct. Yeah, so just be clear. If you don't do something, just say it. Just tell the person instead of doing it and grumbling about it later. A lot of people would appreciate it if you simply didn't do it and just tell them upfront, but tell them in a nice way where you can. Sometimes you just can't, but when you can, tell them in a nice way. It doesn't have to be harsh, but it should be honest. Yeah, don't just do things to please people when inside you really, really don't want to. And you probably won't even do it well, and you know you cannot provide it well because you're forcing yourself to do it. You can say something like, I'm really sorry, but I need to take some time for myself at the moment, or I can't commit to this right now, but thanks for thinking of me. It's actually okay to say no. Just don't make it look as if it's a fight. And if they take offense, you really can't help it. So being honest and direct is number one. Number two is practicing self compassion. Compassion for yourself. Remember, saying no doesn't mean you don't care. It actually means that you thought enough about yourself to preserve your own energy because you need it most of the time. If you're a very giving person and you find yourself struggling in this area, it means people are so used to getting a yes from you that you're probably overdoing things. You're probably doing too much already as it is for you to be having a real problem with saying no. So treat yourself to some kindness, just the way you would treat a friend. You'd be very out there defending a friend and saying, no, 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 you need to rest, you need to. So give that to yourself. And a lot of times, if you've been used to giving too much to people, you have to kind of take it by force because they will begin to feel like it's almost their right to get that help from you. Number three is start small. If setting boundaries feels like a very big challenge, start with small steps. Say no to something small first and kind of think about how you feel. Take note of it. At this point, I can tell you about our mood journal. You can get a copy for yourself and put down how you feel after that action. How did you feel when you said no to a small thing? take note of the feeling, and do it again another time for another different thing. Once you get used to saying no about small things, bring it up a little bit, start being able to say no to bigger requests. See how that makes you feel. You end up feeling more empowered and, just better about yourself. So you put it down and document it. Each time you do it, it gets easier. Number 4 is respecting other people's boundaries. When you respect other people's boundaries, it encourages a healthy relationship for both of you and the person you're respecting or that is asking you to do things. So if someone says no to something, try not to take it personally yourself also. Yeah, because you're learning to do the same thing. So you need to also respect the other people's. Don't always assume that you will always get a yes. Don't take it personally when someone says no to you also. It's just their way of taking care of themselves. And as you start learning about it, you respect their boundaries and you respect yours, so that now you start having a healthy relationship with such people and you're able to extend it to others. And as you get better at it, you're able to bring the people in your circle to do the same thing, and all of you now begin to respect each other in a kind of mutual way. Yeah. Lastly, reinforce your boundaries. Once you set a boundary, stick with it. Don't keep wavering and one day you're yes, the other day you're no about the same thing. Stick with the boundary you've set so that, guys, everybody around you will know, no, this and this thing this person does not do. Eventually they will stop asking because they know you have a limit. This is when it reaches here, she doesn't go beyond that. You see, and it makes life so easy. If someone tries to cross it, you just remind them gently of your need for space or time, and you deserve to protect what's important to you. So I thought that was nice to share because we're dealing with mental health even as we grow up. It's just a part of it. Mental health is actually a huge topic on its own, but because it kind of shares borders with glowing up mentally, part of a mental glow up is being able to free yourself from being too much to too many people. Knowing where to set your boundaries, it's something you can look at, sit down and think about. If you need to jot it down, as I mentioned, there's the journal. I'm going to link it at the end of this video. You can get a copy for yourself and see how to start writing down how you feel, because many times nobody enjoys overstretching. It's just so exhausting and unsatisfying. And then you can get people who demand it of you without really thinking. If you don't put your foot down, you can spend your entire life being a slave to everyone. That does not feel nice, and that's not what your life was meant to be. So setting boundaries is actually an act of love, both for yourself and the people around you. You don't have to feel guilty for protecting your peace. Really, you do not. So be kind to yourself, and don't forget, you've got this. You've got this. Yes?
Waiting for your storm to settle as I look toward the sea. Dust in your eyes like the water, as the tide it consumes me. You would never save me if my walls came down. That is underwater, you would let me drown. Watching as I suffer.